Good morning, folks. This is your hillbilly historian coming to you from the hills of East Tennessee, Appalachia, to let you know some honesty and truth about what's going on in this world today. Have you ever heard of a group called the Luddites? The Luddites was a group of people in England back at the beginning of the Industrial Revolution. They were mostly loom operators, weavers, people who operated these weaving machines and looms. But the British engineers, uh, always advancing industrial modernity, uh, these engineers were coming up with weavers, looms that operated automatically or by water power or some kind of external power, and mostly water in those days. Steam engines were just being developed, and but these weavers that were put out of work formed this group, and they were referred to and called the Luddites, who were against modern technology, because modern technology, the advancement of mankind, puts people out of work, and that made them feel very uncomfortable, very insecure, and so they formed this Luddite organization, and they would invade these factories and with hammers, and they would destroy these modern looms and machines. Uh, our socialists here in the United States behave in much the same way. They protest every modern advancement, especially if Trump thinks of it. Uh, the state legislature in Nashville made a big Luddite move recently when they outlawed smartphones, kids bringing smartphones to school. Stupid Luddites down there in the state legislature. Ignorant Luddites going against modern technology. Uh, these smartphones has been one of the greatest new inventions in the history of mankind. Uh, it's not only a communication device, but it's a device filled with AI and modern knowledge and old knowledge, everything. I mean, you can take a smartphone, catch up on the news and what's going on in the world, and you can study, research, and teachers in this state should be using these smartphones, having kids do research, write papers on their smartphones, send them to printers, print them off. They should have kids researching the modern news, researching old historical events, and have them use their smartphones to do research papers, teaching them how to use them effectively and not just say, no, we can't do this, we can't have these in the schools. You morons, that's modern technology. Learn how to use it. Teach children how to use them. Teach children how to record modern current events and how to make little movies and films of modern events or historical events. Teach them how to store data, store pictures, store things that they want to keep, and if their phone breaks or cracks up, that they don't lose this stuff. How it can be preserved, using the clouds and all this kind of stuff. But what's amazing is without these smartphones, uh, a lot of left-wing socialists would get away with their lies. But these smartphones are recording current events, which proves they're lying. Take John Lewis and his black buddies up there in Washington, D.C. that claimed when they walked down in front of members of the Tea Party that these Tea Party people spit on them, spat on them, shot them birds and called them niggers and all this kind of stuff. But members of the Tea Party were recording this event, and it proved that John Lewis and his black buddies were big lying SOBs. Left-wing, liberal, lying, Democrat Party liars, SOBs, which is about all they've become in modern politics in this country. It's a shame that they stooped to this level, but thanks to the smartphone, we were able to prove they lied their butts off. And take that little high school kid that was down there in Washington, D.C., and some Indian got up and, well, it actually wasn't an Indian, it was a white man pretending to be an Indian, dressed like an Indian, who got in his face with a drum trying to intimidate him into a violent act, and the kid kept his cool and did not react violently. But the media jumped all over it, the left-wing lying media jumped all over it and claimed that he harassed this poor Indian guy. But people with their smartphones had videoed the event, and the video proved the media were lying, the Indian was lying, or the pretend Indian was lying, and that everybody was lying their butts off, trying to make the right wing or conservative Christian people look bad. And thanks to the smartphone, this modern technology that we need to be working with our children on how to use, but instead we become Luddites and outlaw it. And look what the smartphone did to the J6 so-called revolution, resurrection, rights. The smartphones gave us thousands of hours of people not doing anything wrong, that they were invited into the Capitol building by the security officers who were there. They were guided through the building by the security officers. This is all recorded on. And the liberal Democrats who tried to make a big deal out of this lied about it, prosecuted with their lies, put innocent people in jail by the thousands, and they also were proven to be lying about a riot taking place and all this kind of stuff. Smartphones gave us historical truth when the Democrats, the socialists, Marxists, were lying their butts off. This smartphone is a great piece of modern technology. Our children, instead of being outlawed to take them to school, they should be encouraged to bring their smartphones to school, and teachers should be teaching them how to use these smartphones and doing research and recording events and recording the truth about real events. Take here in Campbell County, we've got a citizen by the name of John Ward who has what he calls the Appalachia Channel on YouTube, and he goes around recording old buildings, old structures, especially old stores where you can get bologna sandwiches, and some stores you can get really good meals cooked right there. And he records all this, and it's great American history. These people are the new Ken Burns. You know, they don't have real expensive uh, filming equipment. They have nothing but a simple smartphone, and they are recording modern American history and preserving it, putting it out there on the clouds and on YouTube and TikTok and places. It's absolutely amazing, this new modern technology. It's going to be used by historians in the future to study our history, our events, our culture, and it's going to give them an accurate picture. It's like John Ward going around making a living, recording real, true American culture and history, especially in the Appalachian area. Old towns, old buildings, old stores, some still in operation. It's absolutely fantastic what these people are doing with their smartphones. They're giving us the truth about J6, January the 6th, so-called insurrection, uh, about the high school kid there in Washington, D.C., confronted by this fake Indian with a drum, beating a drum in his face, trying to get a violent reaction. Uh, the truth about John Lewis and his lies about the Tea Party. It's absolutely amazing how these Marxist socialists will lie, the media will lie about good Christian people behaving themselves and doing right by everybody. And they'll tell the god awfulest lies you ever heard. But the smartphone, we just need to get these Luddites out of the Nashville state legislature, ignorant, foolish Luddites who are against modern technology, trying to keep our children in the dark ages. These people are fools, idiots, morons, who do not have an idea of where they're at in modern society and where modern society is going, where technology is going, and how to apply it effectively instead of outlawing it. So you Luddites down in Nashville, go home, crawl under your beds, pull the covers down where we don't have to look at you, and we have to suffer fools a lot. Mankind, there's people with vision who really try to advance mankind, like Steve Jobs and these guys who came out with the smartphones, and this technology that you could use at your fingertips, that you could photograph and film modern current events, modern culture, modern society. And we're not teaching kids how to do this. You can teach kids to be like John Ward, go out and make a living doing this stuff. And how to research and how to film. And teach them how to do this, how to use their smartphone. But, hey, the Luddites in Nashville, living in the dark ages, we need to vote these ignorant fools out of office and get somebody in there that has an awareness of where we're at in modern society and where we're going. Wake them up. Hit them up the side of the head with a 2x4. Wake them up. But anyway, this is your hillbilly historian coming to you, telling you about honesty and truth about where we are at in this world today, and where we ought to be going instead of going backwards like the Luddites want us to do. But anyway, yeah, they're probably afraid down there in Nashville about Afraid somebody's going to use a smartphone to film what's going on down there. And we get to see the honest truth about what's really going on in this world. But anyway, this is your hillbilly historian coming to you from the hills of East Tennessee, trying to bring you enlightenment, truth, and honesty about the world in which we live here in Appalachia. Thank you and have a good day.